Hello everyone, welcome to Shikara Academy. Today we are going to discuss about Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats are very beautiful mountains, very beautiful but dissected mountains. There are not continuous mountains like our Western Ghats. Western Ghats are very continuous mountains. If you see from the western part, the Malabar coast, the Konkan coast, they're very continuous set of mountains. But Eastern Ghats are not like that. They are broken mountains because we have various rivers that have been much older than India itself. That is, for example, the Godavari River, the Krishna River, right? The Tungabhadra River, the Penna River, and we have so many rivers: the Mahanadi River, Brahmini, Baitarani, Subarnareka, like Nagavali, Vamshadhara. There are so many rivers like this. So all these rivers have broken down these mountains into pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces and deposited as in terms of alluvial soils. That's the reason we call this as emergent coast, the coast which has been emergent because of the deposition of the Godavari and Krishna rivers. Look at how beautiful the mountains were, so greenish, so greenery in nature. But generally, obviously the river is not white in color. It is because of the land that flows. It is generally dark in colors. It can be Godavari or Krishna, whatever the river it is. And in some places they are very lofty, very big mountains. Some places we don't even have mountains, and majority of the mountains run through the beaches because they are in the Eastern Ghat. For example, like you take Anantagiri hills of the Vizag, not the Hyderabad Anantagiri hills, but the Vizag Anantagiri hills. Or maybe you come to the Odisha coast. There, for example, see, if you look at the Ghats, for example, let me clear this particular you know picture. Let me erase this. Yeah, the gap here is very much high, right? The distance between the Eastern Ghats and the beach is very much higher in Andhra Pradesh, and similarly in Andhra Pradesh it is very much lower, and it is like obviously touching in Vizag. The hills are directly touching this particular beach or sea coast or Dolphin Nose Hills, directly touching. See how what is the gap here in Vizag? Very less gap. The hill directly goes into the hill. So in some areas, because there are no rivers, hills are like this. In some areas, wherever we have rivers, the deposition formed like this. Now you got it? Why the reason? Look at this. From generally people call it as Rajma Hills and Meghalaya. They're not part of Himalayas, they're part of peninsular India. And from Odisha is only our particular Eastern Ghats starts. Odisha and parts of Chhattisgarh, southern Chhattisgarh particularly, Dandakaranya region, and Telangana, Andhra majorly, and Tamil Nadu. Then any other state, Andhra has major Eastern Ghats. Because if you go to Tamil Nadu, there is a gap here except Javadi and Shevaroy Hills. For example, you look at the Javadi and Shevaroy Hills, there is so much amount of gap here. There are no hills only. And if you look at here, this is a confluence of Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. Okay, the Dodabetta peak, for example, which is highest peak in the confluence of Eastern and Western Ghats. There we generally don't term it as Eastern Ghats, Northern Western Ghats. It is just a confluence. But majority of the Tamil Nadu don't have hills. But if you look at Andhra Pradesh, the coast of Andhra Pradesh, including Rayalaseema, Erramala, Nallamala, Velugonda, and all these hills are also part of this particular Eastern Ghats. Okay, and particularly Eastern Ghats, Nallamala forest and Velugonda forest, both called as Eastern Ghats. In between, we have valleys or Nandyal hills, or you can call it as Velugonda hills, right? The Eastern Ghats are chain of discontinuous row mountains. Yes, they are not continuous; they are discontinuous. As I said, this is very important. And Odisha, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, they are majorly spread in Odisha, Andhra, and Tamil Nadu, and parts of Karnataka where the Eastern Western Ghats meet, Tamil and Telangana, and also southern parts of Chhattisgarh. Only a very small hills of Chhattisgarh also we have, and they merge in Western Ghats, in Eastern Ghats merge at Nilagiri Hills. This is also very important. And if you look at the peaks, Mahendragiri Hills in Odisha, 1501, highest peak in northern section, but not in complete Eastern Ghats. And Deomali in Odisha, 1672, highest in Odisha. Nallamala Hills, Andhra Pradesh, almost like 1100 meters, famous for tiger reserves and biodiversity. Nallamala has one of the best biodiversity. And the forests of Nallamala are like this, like a T-shaped. Right here we have Telangana, here we have Andhra. This is Nagar Karnool, this is Karnool. Like this we have. And Velugonda, as I said, Nallamala Hills and Velugonda Hills and Palakonda Hills, they go in parallels in 500 to 1000 meters, parallel ridge system. And Armakonda, that is Zindagada peak in the Vizag regions, near Vizag, it's one of the highest peak in Eastern Ghats. Before it used to be different peak, Mahendragiri, but now it was changed. So 1680 is the highest peak, Zindagada peak, right, in the Eastern Ghats. And Javadi in Tamil Nadu, you take this is one of the most highest biodiversity because it is equal. There, see, if you go down, if you take the Javadi and these hills, they are very near to the equator. So you have good biodiversity there. That's one thing that you have to understand. By the time you go away from the equator, biodiversity decreases. So obviously in Javadi Hills, Shavarai Hills, biodiversity will be higher because it has, see, obviously it is near the equator, right? And Panchamalai and Biligiranga Hills in Karnataka, where the confluence of Eastern and Western Ghats happens, right? Sheshachalam Hills, I think you might have watched the movie Pushpa also, about the hills and all, you might have seen, and the biodiversity, great biodiversity we have here. And what are the notable plateaus, for example, in Eastern Ghats, we take the Amarkantak regions. The Amarkantak is not exclusively part of Eastern Ghats, they are the part of western part of Eastern Ghats. And Amarkantak hills are very important because whatever the rainfall happens here goes to the Namada, goes to the Tapi, goes to Mahanadi, goes to Son River, goes to Vainganga. So it is like a centripetal drainage pattern. And Central Ridge, Armakonda stands at the highest peak, central part. And Simlipal, Malia, and all these kondas are also there, which are more important. You take about the rivers and lakes, major rivers, Eastern Ghats, Mahanadi, as I said, Godavari, Krishna, Penna, Kaveri, Tunga, Bhadra, Tungabhadra, and Vaigi. There are so many rivers, not just these rivers. Subarnaleka, Vamshadhara, Nagavali, and originating rivers. Many small rivers and streams start in these hills and flow eastwards. See, if you look at the rivers here, they started Western Ghats and moved towards Eastern Ghats. So origin Western Ghats, breaking in Eastern Ghats, that is Godavari, Krishna. But there are small rivers that originate here and flow here. That is, as I said, Nagavali and Vamshadhara. And we have Chilika, which is like one of the largest brackish water lake in Asia, and Kolleru, Pulikat. For example, if you take the east coast, whenever we have this wind erosion, the sand gets deposited in this particular area. Sand gets deposited. Okay. And similarly, when in northeast monsoon or southwest monsoon, when the monsoon changes, the wind direction changes, and again sand gets deposited in the other direction. So these two sands meet, and these two point boards, we call it as point boards. These two point boards make an arch, and the water inside this arch particularly leaves like a simple lake. A simple lake. This is what called this Chilika Lake, Kolleru Lake, Pulikat Lake. Because of the change of the monsoons, the wind direction changes. Because of the wind direction changes, the sediments get deposited, and the sediment deposition have led to the formation of, because of the rivers, also we have the formation of lakes. So this is the beauty of Eastern Ghats. Now we have one thing for you, and mains answer writing foundational boot campaign is going on with Shikara Academy, which was started in 2015, our academy, and we have got 2018 prestigious State Formation Day Award. And we have mains answer writing foundation camp that is going on right now, where we have 30 perfect sessions, daily answer writing, integrated diagrams, everything will be there. And you are getting 1500 rupees codes for 749, and for first 50%, you are getting the 50 students will get just only 499 price. And this is a schedule, and every day we have schedule what we are going to follow. This is not answer writing test series, but answer writing course, how to write answers. These are the things that you should and you need to understand. This is a complete detailed syllabus, and we have got rank 8, 34, 41, 57, 59, 96, 105, 114, and 121. All these ranks are there. And you look at the climate of Eastern Ghats, rainfall. So we have tropical monsoon type climate because we get rainfall from the southwest monsoons and northeast monsoons. So the rainfall is like 160 to 160 centimeters. This is not so great when you compare with Himalayas, but yes, this is very much important. And diversity, we have dry evergreen forest because we get good rainfall in one part of the monsoons, another part we get very less rainfall. So evergreen will be there, but they are not that much lavish evergreen, but we have dry evergreen. Tamil Nadu particularly semi-evergreen. And tropical dry deciduous, obviously trees will lose their leaves or shed its leaves because it don't have what we generally call it as good amount of rainfall. If you don't have good amount of rainfall, what happens? That is where the tree will shed its leaves. And we have savanna type, tropical dry scrub, southern tropical thorn, like needle forest, and we have subtropical hill forest, obviously in the hilly areas, right? So like we have different types of forest. If you take about biodiversity, and it is a home to 13% of Indian flowering species, 3000 species including nearly 100 endemic. They are found only in those regions, particularly orchids. And if you take about animals, we have Indian bison, panther, elephants, bears, deers, wild boars, mongoose, jungle cats, pythons, pythons are very much present in this eastern part, particularly lizards, and not last not but not least, tigers. Oh my god, there are so many tigers in this. For example, Sheshachalam, we have tigers, right? Biligiranga, we have tigers, where we have like tiger sanctuaries where Eastern Western Ghats meet, right? Satyamangalam, we have tiger reserves. So they are very, very important. AP we have, Karnataka we have, Tamil Nadu we have tiger reserves. So this is about Eastern Ghats. In the next videos we'll be talking about the other hills and other mountains of different parts of India. Of the complete course you can download our app. Thank you.